What's up, EquinEdge crew? How you guys doing? You're gonna have to endure sitting me outside because it is very hot in Seattle inside the house right now. How you doing, Brady? How you doing, brother?
Hey, Justin, what's up, man? I'm doing well. Having a great week, trying to get as much work done as possible and take a look at the horses when I have a chance. But, man, we had a couple of brutal beats today, didn't we?
We did. My buddy and I, he decided to text me, and so I decided to look at Churchill a little bit at the end of the day. And gosh, it was a brutal one, but it closed out okay. That was the good thing. It could have been a lot better, but I beat that 2-horse that Flo was on in the last at Churchill Downs, and he is frustrating me so much. I think I just cannot bet him anymore. Hey, Andy. Hey, Karina, John, Gary, Keith, Patricia. But you text me and you needed that one at Belmont in the last race for a little bit of a tourney ticket entry type thing, and Saez just couldn't get it done.
I think I'm going to start divorcing a few jockeys. I think, credit to the 9-horse and Dylan Davis, but that one was absolutely loaded, and Saez just couldn't keep him out of trouble. You break from the one hole, you have a good break, and you take the horse back into fourth. Just not how I would have ridden the horse, but then again, that's why I'm in this seat and he's in his. But, it makes it fun. It always comes down to the wire, no pun intended. But, when you're trying to win these contests, it's always tough, and you got to have a lot of luck on your side. And so, we're trying to get an extra seat to the NHC this year. But, hey, I'll try again. I'll try again next week. We're going to keep on firing. And how about the card that we have at Churchill this weekend? Man, this thing is loaded. Stephen Foster weekend. It's the third best card that Churchill has all year, other than the Derby and the Oaks. So I'm excited. This is kind of like the bridgeway to Saratoga and to Del Mar. We're kind of halfway there, just a couple weeks away. So still some great racing out there to talk about, and a few other racing topics in the Baffert barn. What's happening out there, Justin?
I don't even know. Like, we were getting ready to go live, and all of a sudden you start telling me all this news, and I'm like, this is crazy. You're going to have to tell the show because I have no idea. I had not heard any of this.
Yeah, so Charlatan's retired. When they banned Baffert from NYRA, that took out Charlatan's mile hopes, I believe. And so, the only place that he's able to run him right now would be like California. I don't know what the other jurisdictions are doing, but I'm sure they'll probably follow suit. But all of a sudden, the news broke today that he's retired, and Life is Good put in a workout today at Keeneland, and everybody's trying to look around who's working him. Apparently, he's going to Todd Pletcher's barn. So we've seen a mass exodus of Baffert horses left and right going to other trainers. I know Chad Brown's probably going to get a few. Todd Pletcher's getting the WinStar ones, and man, it's a mess out there for his barn. But hey, it is what it is. So we'll see how these horses run in a different barn. That's one angle you don't see a whole lot of is the claims off of Baffert do very well. And so I'll be intrigued, I'll be intrigued to see what happens. And some of these horses are probably going to get a little bit different of a regimen than what they're used to. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the rest of the year shapes up. From a legal perspective, they still haven't declared Medina Spirit a disqualification in the Derby yet. So Mandaloon's just sitting there waiting to see if that was Brad Cox's first Triple Crown race, even though he won with essential quality in the Belmont. But so even though this is kind of the off season, horse racing needs to thrive right now. There's not a whole lot of other sports. You got the NHL playoffs going on right now and the NBA playoffs, and baseball is kind of in the middle of their season. So it's time for horse racing to take their seat. I mean, the stage is set right now. So, let's grab the bull by the horns.
Yeah, summer racing is going to be huge. This is a sick card. It is very tough. Like, we'll cover the whole thing, and maybe we'll cruise through the beginning and try to spend more time on that. And that's crazy about Bob. And welcome, Jeff. And Tyler joined us. I love it. Tyler's here. This is great.
I think Tyler should take my spot on the show. Did you see what he did last week? He won an entry to the Del Mar contest. I think it's like a $4,000 Del Mar contest or something like that. Nice job, Tyler. He got the last 5 winners correct in a row at different tracks in a horse tourneys event.
Wow, that's awesome.
Disgusting.
Congrats, Tyler. And Jeff saying, it's the end of Bob. Who knows? It could be. Maybe he'll just retire and be pushed out of racing. I mean, welcome, Philip, Rodney. Glad to see you, Cindy. I think I captured everybody. We're glad you guys are here. It's in Tyler. I love seeing Tyler here.
Speaking of retired, I thought Alexandra was retired, but she's pregnant and just beat all the boys going a mile. What the heck happened? Did anybody catch that race? Alexandra at 17-1 at Belmont.
Was she pregnant when she raced?
Yeah, she's in the first trimester. Yeah, she's in the first trimester. Yeah.
When was that? Sunday?
That was on Sunday. That was in the grade 3 poker. And, everybody thought, including myself, I thought Raging Bull was a paid workout, because I thought Alexandra was a sprinter. And I'm not sure the last time that she went more than about 6 furlongs, 6.5 tops. And they stretch her out. But with Belmont, it's almost like it's a one-turn configuration. They have that little jog if they're going 8 furlongs to the left, and then it's kind of just like a one-turn elongated sprint. And it just hit her right between the eyes. Rosario got her going, and once she started going, you kind of knew at the top of the turn, even when she was still 8 off the lead, that she was the winner. And, that's really – I don't know what to say about Raging Bull. That was a soft field for him, where he's compared to doing, because he's used to running against grade 1 company. In his last 12 races, he's faced grade 1 horses. And so that was a grade 3 only because they couldn't ship him out west to the Shoemaker Mile. And so this was kind of a reroute for Chad. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with the bull going forward, if they run him in the 4-star Dave, or maybe Chad just wants to train him up to the Breeders' Cup. I hope we get to see him at Saratoga. I expect that we will. But I need a little bit better trip for my Rad there. He kind of had him buried on the inside the whole time. And if you ask the bull where he likes to run in the middle of the track.
Yeah, but look at this too. Welcome, Chris. There's my buddy Chris. He got my frustration earlier. He's probably frustrated with me at Churchill Downs earlier. But Karina, look at her. She won a 78, missed a 78, won a 76, won a grade 1, a grade 3, missed a grade 2, comes up here against the bull and against the boys. But to your point, she's been running just 5.5, 6 furlongs, but this is just this elongated sprint at Belmont. Had a good pace set up, and she just blasted home. Great ride by Joel. And, a lot of people are giving him flack, whether he's hurt or not. But, yeah, I watched it, and, only ran – that was her 4th race this year. Comes in and just takes a grade 3, wins a little paycheck, probably go back to the farm and become, more of a mare than a racehorse again and have a baby soon, right? Well, I guess it's a little ways off, but she ran great. That was cool to see.
Yeah, Karina brings up a good point that she won a grade 1 last year. I believe that was the Jaipur, the 6 furlong sprint at Belmont. And so, like we talked about, we bring up the horses like Jackie's Warrior, who just are a one-turn specialist, where that's what Alexander is. And some of these sprinters, when you're weary about them going a mile, well, if it's still technically like a 1 turn or like a 1 1/4 turn, it doesn't really make a difference. There's some horses that just don't like going 2 turns and that specialize at 1 turn. And I think that's Alexandra. So that'll be interesting to see how that baby runs, because a lot of the Into Mischiefs like the lead. And so Alexandra likes being in the back of the pack. So you might have a super horse in this foal.
Yeah, and Jeff, so if you look here, though, in GSR Plus, 6 furlongs was her distance. But look at 8 furlongs and, a 72 GSR. And, again, likely not going 2 churns, to your point, Brady, but going this elongated 1 churn sprint. She's definitely a sprint horse. Just this long kind of sprint race at Belmont. And, to your point, hit her in the eyes. I saw somebody posted on Twitter. Somebody had $1,000 bet on her to win or something, which is, that's close to a $20,000 payday. That's pretty sick. But yeah, that was cool. She ran a great race. I'm trying to think, anything else happen? I hit this last race really hard. I know no, it was on Saturday. Because we covered Saturday. And I played the 6 over the 4 here, Bella Dominica, for the exacta paid $20, and Bella Dominica over the 8. The 6 was dropping in class. the 4 was dropping. Scotty long shot price play. It came 6-4, and then the 9 ended up like blowing up the board for third place, which was crazy. But what else? Anything else from last weekend?
I bought some crypto yesterday for the first time in 4 years.
Yes, I love this. You need to buy Humble. You need, today there's more coverage on Humble, man. Like and this, and I won't promote this too much on here, but I mean, that's legit, I think, unicorn potential stock. But I love that you bought crypto. What did you buy?
Yeah. So we were at a restaurant last night, like a Southern barbecue place, and we stayed way too long, had a few drinks, and these guys are just talking about this one guy who bought $2,000 worth of Dogecoin. Okay, this was like a few years ago. He said he got it for like a third of a penny. Who just says that? I bought it for a third of a penny. Okay, whatever. And he said that he sold out for like $300,000. And so he buys like a fancy supercar, and on the license plate, he pulls it up there and it says Doge on the license plate. So I'm like, okay, well, what do you like here? It's kind of like a horse tout. He's like, oh man, you want to follow the hot hand, the guy that's winning all the money. So I said, what do you like here? And what do you say, Stella? I think Stella's what he told me. It's like a quarter right now. So we loaded up.
I personally, not financial advice. I always tell people that. I love Humble, that, as a stock. For crypto, I don't go altcoin. A little bit, a couple altcoins, and we're totally off subject, but that's okay. I'm all Bitcoin, Ethereum, and crypto is a great buy now. Again, not my financial advice, but I think long term it's huge. But altcoins, I don't know. So I wish you the best. If you're gonna get in, you buy some Ethereum and Bitcoin too.
Okay. Can I bet horses with that?
You know what? On some of the sites you can. Yes. On some of the sites you can. They will allow you to deposit crypto.
Oh.
Our big sites do not, the mainstream sites, but some of the other sites they do. But I wish you the best. And Stella, Doge, I don't know about. Like, good thing he sold his Doge, because Doge is Doge. It's about a dog, and that's about it. But all right. We should probably get back on topic for the crew. Everybody's silent. They probably wonder what we're doing and what we're talking about. All right. Churchill, Saturday. Big day, closing day. All right. Let's look at the beginning. The beginning is very tough. Did you look at the beginning?
I did. I went over the whole card, and I spent a lot of time on the late pick 5. But let's do a little early pick 5 as well. This is a maiden special weight. I love the $100,000 maiden special weights at Churchill Downs. It's like, man, you can't run for that kind of money elsewhere. I know Woodbine does some top ones. Keeneland will do some top maiden special weights, but these are some big purses. And so the first thing that I do when I'm looking at a maiden special weight is I look at the newcomers. And so I will adjust the tool to the average SOR and look at the 3 first-time starters. Okay. So when I did that, I immediately eliminated 7. It's in gold. And then I looked at the 4, Cool Quest. Wasn't really that interested. Drayden's very, very cold right now. And so, I'm looking at some of the favorites that he's been on that just haven't gotten the best opportunity to win. Didn't really like what I saw from the works on Cool West. But then I look at the 3, Flint Ridge, which happens to be the Scotty Longshot. Surprise, surprise. You get Joe Sharp, Adam Beschitza out of an Into Mischief, who just went into full with Alexandra. And look at these lightning works the last couple of times out at Keeneland. I mean, he's going 46 and 6 for furlongs, under 60 seconds, going 5, and first out of all of his group there. Only a 4% win. I'm guessing that's probably because he's a first-time starter. But the decent morning line of 6-1, I think this horse could absolutely be live. And so I immediately included the 3 here, Flint Ridge. I looked at the top 2 Scotty picks, Engrave and Resarino. And I thought that those 2 horses had proven themselves, especially the 6 Engrave. Paulo Lobo, he's been in the money every single start of his career. They've tried turf. They've tried dirt. They're getting him back on the dirt. They're getting him sprinting, which is what they started him at Saratoga last summer. And he's had some decent works. I think that this Engrave horse fits and probably will be the favorite if I were to choose the favorite. Might not be that. Ray Sereno was another horse here. That's who Velasquez is flying in to ride for Jack Sisterson. I know Velasquez is flying to ride a lot of other horses too. But, look what they did. They got really really advantageous here with 7 furlongs. Now they're going 6.5. I just think that there was a little bit of an excuse last time out for this 9. I think he's got a better effort in him. The horse that really intrigued me here is Partner's Hope, which is the 1. And this horse, it doesn't seem like he fits. But, he was off slow last time, steadied at the 3/8. I really liked what I saw when they put Lasix on this horse the first time for McPeak. And so you get 5-1, you get Robbie Alvarado to ride, who's gotten some good mounts from Kenny in the last couple of years, since Swiss Skydiver winning the Preakness. And so I really like what we saw here from Partner's Hope. So those would be my top 4 picks. I would say 1, 3, 6, 9.
Yeah, I had the 2 and the 5 too. My concern with the 1 is that he just doesn't break, but this he has faced Kentucky Fair. I had notes here, faced Kentucky Fair and Caddo River, which we both know who those horses are. Here was on the synthetic, toss it, 47 GSR, doesn't want it. Then was off slow again. My only concern here is the horse is in the 1 hole and doesn't break. But this horse breaks. This horse is live. I mean, for sure. The 6, I think, wants the turf. I don't trust this horse at all. I mean, I think you need it. I'm with you on the 9. I really like the 9. I thought the 9 was definitely live. Look at that, 62 SOR here. I mean, this was a super nice race. Finished 6, and people are like, horse finished 6. Yeah, this race was insanely tough. The 2 top GSR, nice race here. What else did you talk the 5? No, the 9. Going back to the 9. No, it wasn't the 9. You talked somebody else. Was it the 3?
The
3 first time starter. Yep. The 5, I don't really see much in the 5. The morning line likes the 5 though. 9-2 versus 12-1, which is just crazy. And a price play. Didn't run well the first 2 starts. This was only a 46. So I'm with you. The 2 was the only other horse here. I thought, first off the layoff as a 2-year-old, comes back as a 3-year-old. A nice little work pattern here. I mean, working. There's a gap here though, which I don't love. For Wilkes. I'm with you though. Let's just go. What are we? 3, 4, 5, 6, 9? No, no 4.
3,
1,
6, 9 for me.
Yep. Okay. Lock that up. We'll move on. I think this next race is a 2-year-old maiden special race. Yeah, Patrick, I don't know what the deal is with the owners. I'll have to. Somebody should email Brad or intercom Brad. I could do it right now, but I'm not sure what's going on. The owner data isn't coming in for some reason. But
I wonder, since these tracks are drawing these cards so late, I mean, it's like they're only giving us a half a day to get the data over, for like these tracks. I wish they started drawing on Mondays.
It's brutal. Like that's why I can't handicap 12 races in 24 hours. I mean, it's just insane. So Jeffrey wouldn't bet Robbie Alvarado on Secretariat.
What about on Swiss Skydiver?
Yeah, right.
I just said he gets good mounts from McPeak. It's up to him to screw him up. He gets good mounts. He won with Swiss Skydiver out at Santa Anita. I think that was like Alvarado's first win in his last 60 tries. At least. There's
Key said owners are up for today, but not Saturday. So I think to your point, it's just for whatever reason the entries are coming so late. But is what it is. This second race, 2-year-old maiden special race. I'm like, I don't really know here. It was very tough. I landed on the 1 and 5. That's what the system had, so I guess that's something. What about you?
Yeah, this Gunite horse, this one, it's I believe the first son of Gunrunner is this horse, and there was so much hype. I hammered this horse first time out, and he ran 3rd. So I'm like, okay, we'll give him another shot. He'll come back. He ran 5 furlongs again on the dirt, and I forget who he lost to, but it wasn't close. It was by a length and a half. And so to me, this Gunite horse has had 2 tries, should get his peak effort next time out as 3rd try. Son of gun runner, Asmussen, Santana. What else do we need? You know, this horse should be a slam dunk. Should be. But I'm still a little skeptical of what this horse has in his heart. And so on paper, yeah, he should be and will be the favorite. But I think we have an opportunity to use him and include maybe a couple of others to try to get a little bit of a price in this leg, because this horse will probably be even money or odds on. I do like your play on the 5. This is Gaffleone for Medina. And they've been working this horse like crazy. I mean, they started working this horse back in April and have not stopped, and now we're in the middle of June. So to me, and Gaffleone, I think, is the top rider at Churchill Downs, and I don't even think it's close. You know, and they get a decent colony over there too. You get Flo, you get Hernandez, you know, you get a bunch of other guys, you get Santana, but Gaffleone, I think he's proven himself. So I will definitely include the 5 there. I did take a look at the Scotty long shot. This was the 10 to Wyjack Chief. And so we get an 8-1 morning line, and this is James Graham for Tom Amoss. I think people have to understand a lot of times Tom Amos's horses get overlooked first time out. And so, he looked like he started training this horse a little quick, then they kind of backed off a little bit. James Graham's been hot. It's a Scotty long shot, and it's 8-1, and it's a maiden special weight race. So when I see horses in a maiden special weight that have run before but still haven't won, it's almost like, okay, are they in the class level that they belong? Because we could look at Gunnite, and he's a 52 average SOR, and that's what this same race SOR is, but he hasn't won at that level yet. So, still questions have to be answered. The last horse I liked was the 14, Iconic Legacy. This is Flo for Cox, 6-1 morning line. And so I just thought, if you're going to take a shot with some first-time starters, those were the 2 that I was really going to look at.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. Yeah, I like the 10 there. I'm glad you caught that. I hadn't, and I always love, the system likes first time starters, Scotty long shots. They the good flat bet profit on a win bet for those. Somebody was keeping track of those on the Facebook page, and he was an overseas guy, and he ended up just not being able to keep doing it, but he was posting them regularly, and then he was posting the statistics. Karina wants us to look at the 11 top GSR, 6 points, morning line. You look at that difference in morning line, 5-1 versus the system has that 30-1. Nice work pattern, working every week. Mark Cassie for Basiska. I get it. I think, I guess this horse can win. I don't even know. A bunch of 2-year-olds that who knows what's going to happen. For the 14's 10%. So, the 15's 21% here. Buckingham Palace, second Scotty pick. Norm Cassie with Talamo. Ran here back at Churchill's. Been working good sense. I could see the 15 win. I don't, I think the posts outside on dirt sprints are okay on Churchill. I don't know though. Is the 11 a practical joke? Oh, it is. Interesting.
It is.
Yeah. Wow. Huh. I could see the 11 and 15 winning. I don't even know. Let's add the 10 and 14. And I guess the 15, does it just not?
The 15 had a little bit of trip trouble last time out. And so you got 2 Cassie horses in the race, one for Norm, one for Mark. And so for me, Cassie's either a complete toss or a must use. And right now, I'm just not liking what I'm seeing from the Cassie horses.
Yeah, let's toss. I'm with you. I don't love this here. Big odds was in the 1 hole. But I don't know. I guess the horse can win, but we'll toss 1, 5, 10, 14.
There's a good question from C Money. How much does GSR factor into 2-year-old form? As far as form goes, not so much as form. We're looking at recency for form. So maybe their last 2 races is what I look at for form. But for 2-year-olds in the GSR, we're looking at breeding. And so, when you have a first-time starter especially and a top GSR, and when that GSR is loads above the rest of the field, say like 8 to 10 points or higher, that's something you have to look at with a microscope. And so, typically when you have a first-time starter or the GSR is useful for a horse trying something new for the first time, say going from dirt to dirt, say going from sprint to route. And so that's where the GSR tool really comes in handy.
And Keith, to your point, when the EquinEdge morning line is a lot different than the morning line odds maker, they rarely win. Whether they run well or not, I don't know, but I know they do rarely win. I was talking with Scotty about that, and when you have that overlay, like with the 11 here, when it's 13-1 versus a 5-1, they do not win often. I don't know what the percent is, but it's very, very minimal. So, I love when you find angles, when you can find the morning line that's under, obviously, because you can find value and you connect a few things. But I think you did a good job there, describing GSR. I mean, it's not necessarily form. It's like, hey, is this horse going to run? Which you could say, hey, is 11 going to run, as a first-time starter? The 10, you look at the 10 as a first-time starter, win percent's 4%, but the system likes the morning line better. I don't know why. I mean, for whatever reason. I mean, win percent is the same, but odds-wise, and this is a 71 versus 77. So, again, I don't know. I have no idea. But I like that the algorithm here likes it as a Scotty long shot. So Michael's asking, does anyone know if Pimlico has announced will there be a mandatory pick six payout? I don't know. I haven't heard. I know that they'll do mandatory at Churchill unless it gets hit, obviously. And then somebody told me that Gulfstream's doing a mandatory this weekend, Sunday, I think. I have not heard about Pimlico though. I think Pimlico extended their meet, didn't they? So they might wait on that pick six then because of that, would be my guess. All right, let's go to the third leg and we'll cruise along here. Another dirt race, 6 furlong claiming race, a bunch of winners. What do you think here?
This race was interesting for me. Claiming 50 for 4-year-olds and up going 6 on the dirt. I liked, we were kind of just talking about the opposite angle there with the EE morning line being higher than the morning line and those horses rarely winning. But, rarely still means happens every once in a while. And so I did look at this 7 Nifty. I love this horse. Jason Barkley had a Ghost Zapper that Jimmy Graham likes to ride. And this horse kind of was facing some better competition later last year. And I think they finally found the right class level for this horse, which is the claiming level. And so won last time out pretty convincingly. And the funny thing is, if you look at the conditions, he was in a $40,000 claimer, now going to a $50,000 claimer. However, the last race, the system saying was tougher than this race, even though this race is for more money. This is a 66 SOR versus a 68 SOR. They won by a length and a half last time out, just stalking and pouncing on the pace. And so I definitely wanted to give the 7 a look. I believe he's improving. I remember watching this horse last year, and, they started trying him going long. It really didn't work out, trying to go a mile. I think 6 furlongs hits this horse right between the eyes. And so I'm definitely looking at the 7 Nifty to include on my ticket. And if you look at the GSR Plus, it does show that this is his best type of distance. If he goes any shorter than this, it kind of goes down. But 6 furlongs to like a 1-turn mile, this is a 1-turn horse. And, he's a 5-year-old, so, you can't teach an old dog new tricks unless you switch to a barn that's doing something illegal. But I definitely like the 7 Nifty. I also like the 12 Mount Travers. I think one thing that we've got to take notice of this week is look at the jockeys that are flying in. You've got Johnny V flying in, Javier Castellano, Jose Ortiz, just to name a few. So, we're used to like Beschizza, Flo, Santana, Jimmy Graham, and Gaffleone, but now we got Ortiz in here and we got Johnny Velasquez. The 12, I think, could end up being the horse to beat. It looks like it's a price play, too. So that's nice. For a long shot, I think that the system's just picking it up, that the horse might be overlooked a little bit. I think it'll take some money, though, with Johnny V aboard. I like that this horse won at 7 furlongs last time out at equal company. And so the horse did come wide and still finished in 1 by a length from the 7 post. So I don't see, like you said, the outside post at Churchill being as big of a deal. Like the 12, I also like the 9 Buttered Noodles. This is one of 2 Robertino Diodoro horses and it's actually the higher priced one. He gets Jose Ortiz, and so man, I was just looking at this horse. He's going to show so much speed compared to the rest. And so I thought if Jose, who I think gave one of the most magnificent gate-to-wire victories that I've seen in a long time today on Robin Sparkles at Belmont, they went 21 and like 43 and change. And he let the horse do what she really wanted to do, which was roll. You know, I love seeing that. I hate it when jockeys are trying to save horse. It's like, no, if you're a speed horse and you need to be alone on the lead, you do whatever it takes. Because if you don't get the lead, you're not winning this race. So that's what I think Jose Ortiz is going to try to do. And in an 8-1 morning line, you know, this horse could be a sneaky little price.
Yeah. And Simon, you just asked your question because I saw Jeffrey said, hey, ask Justin. You know, I know that like first time starter, 2-year-old, does that come into the genetic strength rating? I know the genetic strength rating is pulling in surface and distance at, you know, that specific surface and distance. I don't think that it comes. I don't know this though, you guys. Like, yeah, Scotty would have to answer this unless Brady, you know.
It does, because after Medina Spirit won the Kentucky
Derby, right. Yes,
it changed the GSR for that, because for Medina Spirit sire, I believe there's a very small sample size. And so the system is constantly updating this race by race. I think Rock Your World might have been part of that as well. And so the system's AI, it's constantly learning. And so it's constantly learning, it's constantly getting better every day with the more data that it takes in.
Yeah, you totally reminded me. The GSR, it does from an AI perspective modify. So it's looking at that genetic strength and saying at this point in time, what is that? So in that case, it's taking into play a 2-year-old first time starter. I know a lot of people like to look at those stats and everything. But yeah, no, good call there. I thought that the 5 was interesting, and the 5 and 9 are really the lone speed here. You know, Santana Asmussen, I think he's sending this horse for sure. You know, this is a very competitive race. I mean, I thought the 5 was interesting. You talked the 9. I didn't love the 11, you know, off the claim for Diodore with Flo, and Flo is on my list of jockeys that I want to divorce.
You're not sending him a Christmas card? You're not sending him a Christmas card?
Flavian Pratt can have all my Christmas cards. He's on my list of my jockeys to meet and hang out with. But Flo is not. But I didn't really like the 11. I was with you. You know, I thought the 9 Buttered Noodles was interesting. What else here? The 4's never sprinted before. Now is going to be sprinting. GSR says that he wants to sprint, I guess. I mean, 64 and a 60 going long. This is an 8 furlong sprint. Horse showed speed. This horse is interesting, but for Juan Cano or Cano, it has been facing, you know, this is a competitive race. I mean, when you look at these, all these horses have been running in the 60 SORs. Look at the 3. I mean, the 3's been running. A lot of these horses ran in the same race, this 40,000 claimer race, which who won this race? The 7 ended up winning for James Graham. So system like 7, 12, 6, and 11. You talk 7 and 12 and 9. I think we need the 5. 6 is Scotty Longshot. So do we need the 11? No.
It's up to you. I could do with or without.
I think we should get rid of the 11. You know, the 10 is 4 or 5 at Churchill Downs. Cutting back, Gabe Saez. I mean, the problem here is that a lot of these wins, I think, were at a lower level. This horse has run 43 times. I mean, I guess could show up all of a sudden. Did win last out, but I say we go with that. Let's regenerate. 3 wants to add the 3 as well. Finish second in that 40,000 claimer race. We're not gonna add the 3. We're gonna lock it and we're moving on. We're gonna have to single somewhere. Maybe it's here. Maybe we can agree. But what do you think here?
Oh man. So I had a note here, and it was like a whole bunch of emojis, but typed out emojis of "do not bet," absolutely do not bet, warning, 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 shut down your account. This 9-horse Ocean Atlantique, oh God, he knocked me out of the Keeneland tournament. I think I was at Keeneland that weekend, and this horse was so hyped for Brendan Walsh, so hyped. And nobody could stop talking about him. It was either Irad or Joel that was riding. The horse took a lot of money and finished 5th with a mild kick. You can tell a lot from the notes and the verbiage that they use. Mild kick is not what you want in a turf closer. Mild. So, when you go get a taco, are you going to get the mild or the fire sauce, Then I look at the last race at Keeneland again, going 9.5 on the turf. And, this horse came from overseas. Held show. You want a horse that holds show against worse horses? Like, congrats, bro. You held for show. Like, like your dad's American Pharoah, and he'd probably get spanked if American Pharoah, had this kid come to his barn at night for holding for show. I mean, he should be absolutely lapping these fields, you would think. So now they're going to try this horse on the dirt. Well, if you look at the GSR Plus, he should be about the same as he is on the turf. It really shouldn't make a difference. Here's the other factor. When you have these other horses that come over from overseas and start running here, they don't usually take to the dirt. Every once in a while you'll get a horse like Mishriff, but this is not Mishriff. This isn't even close. I hope this horse is bet. I hope he's the favorite because I will be absolutely tossing. He sucks. Exactly. Karina's right. He sucks. For $1.2 million, he could have bought Dogecoin and been way better.
You could put 1.2 million in Humble right now. Yeah, no Doge, Humble. The only thing I will say on this horse is, American Pharoahs have really been pushed to the turf, which is really interesting for how successful that he was on the dirt. This horse wants the dirt and wants to go long, and gets 9 furlongs here. So, but I get it. I do like your breakdown of this because all of it, like I do not like the comment lines, has been running in a 68 and a 62, but on turf. And I think that's the issue here. Mm-hmm. We don't know how this horse is going to perform on dirt. Dude, maybe this is the American Pharoah that runs on dirt and runs out of its mind. Unlikely. I get it. But I mean, Who knows? So keep going though, because I think there's other opportunities here.
Yeah. Patrick asked if I'm bringing my golf clubs to Del Mar. I did last time and probably again. Yeah, I'd say. Maybe I'll have to go.
When are we going to Del Mar? We can talk about this later because we have to figure this out.
I'd like to go sometime. I have a few golf tournaments in July. I got the club championship in mid-July. So, and then I've got an invitational. But other than that, I'm golden. Other than those 2 weekends. All right. Race 4 at Churchill. There's a horse that is going to be, I think, overlooked because they think he's going to be overmatched. Maybe he is. And this is another horse that's got a comment line that I hate. It's never a threat. You don't want to see that comment line either. But I am okay to toss a race, which in this case, he broke dead last. And this is a horse that when he's winning and running his best, Pip, you knew who it was, Pit Boss.
Well, no, it took me a while to get there. I finally found it.
Yeah, osmosis, man. I like Pit Boss at 8-1, and I think you're going to get higher than that. I really do. I think you're probably going to get 10, 12, 15-1 on this horse. And I love betting a horse off of an excuse. He missed the break entirely. Never a threat. Okay? Is he stepping up in class? Yes, absolutely. And last time he didn't work out. He's going longer, going 9 furlongs, and he hasn't gone this distance, I don't believe. But if we look at the GSR Plus, it should not be a big deal for this horse to get 9.5 furlongs or 9 furlongs. I just hated the favorite so much that I thought that Pit Boss was going to be a legit contender based on past form if he takes a little bit of a step forward. I think the main player in here that you're going to want to look at is Bourbon War. I like the 3 horses. Ian Wilkes is not using Laperoux, so he's using Brian Hernandez because Laperoux can't ride on the dirt. And Hernandez can. And they tried this horse on the turf quite a bit, didn't really get any results. And then last time out on the dirt, they sprinted with him, going 7 furlongs, and he finished second. But what I like is that the company that this horse is racing in, and I'm not sure who's ridden Bourbon War in the past. Hasn't it been like a ton of jockeys? This is like a jockey musical chair kind of situation, I believe, with Bourbon War. But I like the way Hernandez rides, and I like Ian Wilkes. And when he's not using Laperoux on the dirt, when he goes for an alternative jockey, I thought this horse made sense. The horse that the system's really liking is the 2, Trident Hit. So it's kind of interesting that he's 8-1 morning line, EE morning line 5-2, 24% win, Scotty Longshot. I was trying to figure out why he was 5-2 EE and also the Scotty Longshot. I thought maybe he'd be like first or second Scotty pick, but they're different algorithms. Justin, this is a Justin horse right here. You want to talk about the 2 a little bit? Because that's your angle. 8-1 morning line down to 5-2 EE.
You know, it's crazy. Back in this March 13th race, I don't even know if we were doing the show. Look at my notes, though, on this. 92 EquinEdge versus 6-1, 30% win percent. Nice SOR, Scotty Longshot, and horse 1 at 9-1. Hold on, you guys. I got somebody with a chainsaw outside.
The Seattle Chainsaw Massacre?
I guess, dude. I don't know. You're going to have to hold on a second because I'm going to move.
Yeah, take your time. Yeah, this is a Justin horse right here. Trident Hit. He's got some good notes on the horse. You know, whenever you see a horse that's half of a morning line with the EE, you have to take into consideration. And this horse is even less than that, 5-2. So the system is saying that this horse should be the favorite and that the betting public should take notice of this horse. I think that they like that this horse has a start as a 3-year-old. They like the distance and that they like the company that this horse is has faced the last couple times out. I don't see it in the works. And so I'm going to rely on the system here with this one. This is a tough one for me because if I wouldn't have seen that 5-2 EE morning line, I probably wouldn't have given this horse a look. But you have to consider that, you know, when you're taking your tickets to the next level. So don't forget the 2. You know, if you're trying to beat chalk, I would say, you know, take a look at the 8, take a look at the 3. You know, there was a couple others in here. You've got Jose Ortiz riding for Asmussen at 8-1. You know, just based on this horse's form and the company he's faced, this horse should not have a chance, but you never know. Jose can upgrade a horse. And then this horse, American Tattoo, I feel like he's been around forever. You know, turf, long, 12 furlongs, dirt sprint, dirt 7 furlongs, turf mile, dirt marathon. They don't know what they want to do with this horse. So I would say definitely don't leave off Bourbon War. Include Pit Boss if you want to go a little deep. Definitely look at the 2 Trident Hit. And let's see if we can beat this 9 Ocean Antique, because I think this horse will probably be vying for favoritism and be heavily overbet. You know, maybe the horse is worth 7-2, but he's not going to be worth even money if that's what he is.
So I think the chainsaw stopped. I had to come back out here because I have this whole setup. If people saw this, I have a flat screen TV outside that I have you on. I tried to move inside, but the flat screen's still outside. The mic was muted. I couldn't see anything. I think they're done. Apologies all. It's like supposed to be 105 this weekend in Seattle. It's been amazing weather, but it's like all-time forever high. Like 105 to 110, which doesn't get like that here, but it's been beautiful. And in the 80s and 90s, so the flat screen got set up outside. Not to spend too much more time here. I love the 3. I like that you don't like the 9. I do think the 9 is interesting, but I do think this horse might be well overplayed. And to your point, couldn't win on the turf, and American Pharoahs have been running on the turf over the dirt. GSR says it will like the dirt, of course, but you know, I thought that the 3 was really interesting. I think that from a GSR plus, he's going to love the distance. Top here for Wilkes, I think could surprise. Morning line has at 92 versus 6-1. When you look here, you know, first out here ended up running second in a 68 and has been running in 76s on the turf, ran in the Belmont, fairly lightly raced. I think the 3 Bourbon War can run really good. You had the 8. I thought the 7 could run well. Morning line likes. I don't really know what to do with the 2. I was trying to talk for a second. This horse, I must have bet back here and ended up winning. I don't know this time, but with that said, here in a 70 at Churchill was in the slop. So Toss It came late here in a 68. So Karina, I think, said the 2 could be a single, or Jeffrey. Somebody said, oh no, Cindy said the 2 could be a single. This is a pretty crazy. I mean, you have Castellano for Moquette. Like, you're not going to get 8-1. There's no way. But yeah, so what are we going to do here? Because we have too many horses for betting, and we're obviously, the system says we're singling in the next race, which, it's a Latruska race. So we're either singling Latruska or we're singling somebody else. There is not really AC in Seattle, Patrick. But what are we going to do here? Because we can only have 2 horses. We have to have the 2. You like the 8. Do you want to go 2-8, or do we want to go 2-3?
I think 2-3 is probably more logical. If you guys want to spend another 20,
it'd be 120.
So,
120 to add the 8.
Let's add the 8 then.
Let's play a little bit of a bigger ticket, and we will add the 8.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think the 2. I'm using the 2 because I don't trust Castellano. That's the only reason. But I'm going to use the 2. So, I mean, man, I'll tell you what. There's nothing worse than singling Castellano when you need him. It's almost as bad as singling Saez.
I've been there, and you were there today in your training. I feel bad for you, not to completely go back. Like, you had that. I liked the 1. I was with you. I played the exacta, the 1 over the 2, and I thought that I literally thought we might have gotten it for a second, but then they both ended up fire. And Patrick says he's remembering the 4 seasons here in Seattle, but it's going to be hot here this weekend. It's exciting.
Yeah. So I feel bad for myself.
I feel bad for you though still. So yeah, there's Rodney. He's gonna play a pick 3. So there's it's the pick 3 could pay huge here. You get a few prices. So Cindy plays $24 tickets. Yeah. I mean, this is a tough sequence. If I play smaller tickets, I play a pick 3 or I skip the pick 5 here. I just think it's too tough unless you have, a firm like grasp on something in one of the first legs. I really struggled. The 5 might be somebody I'd bet in the second race as a price, and just play a pick 3 or play a cheap pick 5. I think with Gaffleone. And I can't remember the trainer you had mentioned. Medina here, first time starter. I think this horse could run, to cut your ticket down or something. But it's this will be interesting. So we get to the 5th. We're gonna be action hour and a half tonight. And it's a Latruska race. So is Latruska the single? Somebody asked in the beginning of the show, or is somebody like Spice is Nice going to win? What do you think?
Yeah, and to Cindy's point, what I do when I play pick 5s, 50-cent ticket is all the base wager is. We'll play anywhere from probably $50 up to about $144 for a 50-cent ticket. Then what I do is I'll wheel back and play like a $2 pick 5, but I'll have 3 singles, and then I'll go like 2 deep by 2 deep. And so just to try to run the gauntlet is what I call it. So that way, if you're right, you're really, really right, and you're hitting the pick 5 times for not a whole lot of money. Because if you single 3 times and you go 2 by 2, you're only spending a few dollars on the ticket. And so I play it for a higher denomination. But Jeffrey likes Spice is Nice. Hey, we got to see that horse at Pimlico, if I'm not mistaken, and she was pretty impressive. Now, I believe Spice is Nice would have to take a major step forward, to compete with Envoûtante and Latruska. Man, she's a bad horse, man. She means business. And her last 2 efforts, look who she's beat. She beat Monomoy Girl. I mean, she had Ortiz up that day, but still, who beats the freaking queen? No one. Latruska does. And then last time out in the Ogden Phipps, I mean, I used the other horse. Who was that? Travel Column. Shame on me. I got on the travel column bandwagon too much. And that was just a paid workout for Latrushka. So what I'm wondering is, okay, this horse is fast, and this horse is really coming into her own. I mean, really. And so the last time she lost was the Azeri, which was at Oaklawn, but that was like by a nose. And I believe that was She Dares the Devil. So if She Dares the Devils in this race, well, I think she's taking kind of a step back or two. She'd be the favorite. The other horse that you have to consider, you got to look at Ambutan. You have to, because I don't necessarily think that this horse has to be on the lead to win. But here's the problem. Who else is going to be daring enough to go with Latrushka? Is it going to be the 2, Antoinette? It's Flo. Hey, if anybody's going to send a horse to the front. But here's what I don't like, is that this horse has been going longer on the turf where they typically go slower early. So I don't think Antoinette's speed is Latrushka's speed. I think Latrushka's alone in the lead again. I think this is your Breeders' Cup distaff. I mean, this is who she is. I mean, what do you think? I'm fine with singling the 6. I think this is a slam dunk.
I don't like the 4 like at all. Just in part of it's because the morning line doesn't like her at all. Oh, Chainsaw's back. I think that
Stay safe.
I do think Spice is Nice is interesting. I really do. And the 1 is actually interesting. The thing with Spice is Nice, I think, can improve here. Ran in Alabama and didn't run, but got 10 furlongs. Ran at Pimlico. This is 3rd off the layoff, is improving, is in form. The GSR is ridiculously off the, out of, off the charts. Lightly raced, is tactical. The thing here, I think, to your point, is like there's nobody to go with Latrushka here. And it's crazy because if you look at her races against Monami Girl in the last race, like there was quite a bit of pace. I don't see it here. I do not think the 2 is going to show speed. I just don't. The 1 I thought was a little bit interesting from the perspective of this is a nice horse. I mean, point of honor, she has been racing in tough company, right? I think the issue here is that she hasn't won. She's competed. Is she going to show up off the layoff and beat Latrushka? I mean, maybe. I mean, so she's going to have to improve because she hasn't been winning. Is Shug going to have her already off the layoff? I mean, looking back here, she didn't run great at Tampa in a 76 off a layoff. Like, I just think it's too tough for her. I don't think she competes, and this is a grade 2. I find it hard to bet against Latrushka here. I really do, even though I truly think Spice is Nice can improve. I really do. I think when you look at the GSR, she wants the distance. Fletcher for Velasquez, like, she could show up, like, but we're not playing 2 horses here. If I have to single, I'm playing Latrushka. Like, I'm not, but if I played a different ticket, for me, the 2nd horse would be Spice is Nice. So,
all right, there it is, a single.
All right, let's go to the 6th. I
think the late pick 5 starts in race 8, doesn't it?
Yeah, let's let's skip. So we took the 6th race. I do think Kinetic Sky is vulnerable here, would be my 2 cents. I thought that the 8 and 9 were both interesting. The 9 used to be Scotty Longshot. For me, I was not a huge Kinetic Sky. It's also Flo and Brad Cox, and he's on my divorce list, so he's not getting bet. The 7, I don't know here. I thought the 1, 5, the Helium, the 7 I thought was a little bit interesting. But let's go to the 8th race. We'll look at the end. There is the 7th. Oh yeah, we'll cover it. Late pick 5. Is that what we want to do?
Let's do the late 5.
All right. Bunch of 2-year-old races. More 2-year-olds. I love this. Love the babies. This was an interesting race. What do you think?
This was the toughest race in the card for me. All.
Yeah. I get it. Like, I cut 3 horses, and those are probably questionable.
Yeah, this is a tough one, man. And the highest GSR horse, 81, is 30-1 E Morning Line classiness. which is a classic Empire, Jason Barkley, hometown track, Churchill Downs, won the maiden race. So, I don't know. I don't know what could happen here. I am actually puzzled on what to do, because the two horses that have the highest GSRs and highest by like a long shot are 20-1 and 30-1. So we got to look at the races that these horses have come out of. So Classiness came out of a 38 SOR. This is a 70 SOR. I mean, look at this same race SOR. I mean, this horse should not even compete, but most of these horses are in the mid 40s, low 50s. I'm going to toss the 4, okay? I'm going to look at the 5, Catch Us If You Can. 75 GSR, Brett Calhoun, coming out of 52. I like this horse, especially at 10-1. I think you're getting a nice fair price. Been working him super slow, or her. What do you think that reason is? I mean, they started working the horse fast, and then all of a sudden she breaks her maiden on May 22nd, and then slow work. I think that could be something that they're trying to hide. So I'm skeptical. I'm thinking maybe this 5 can actually run a little bit. I looked at the 1, Wicked Halo. This is probably going to be your horse to beat, along with the 8. And so this is another gun runner, but this gun runner has actually broken his maiden. It's hard right now to tell how good of a sire gun runner is going to be because they're so young. And so you'd be stupid not to include the 1. We got Santana and Asmussen in the 3. It just broke his maiden there at Churchill Downs. I don't know. Do you think that this race is just Asmussen and move on?
I didn't really like the 3. I guess I cut the Steve horse. Why did I cut the Steve horse? I wish I would have put a note there. I probably looked at these races and I did not like them, would be my guess. So the way that I handicap, and Scotty, we need the link feature. He knows it. Hopefully it's coming soon. I have to figure it out and go use something else to look at what happened in these 2-year-old races, because when horses have raced, I want to see what's happened with the horses that they also face. And I probably did not like, this 46. And so I got rid of the 3, even though Ricardo was ready. I thought this was between the 6 and 8. I really did. I thought that, I think that the 8, here, I have this was a really nice maiden special win. And it's Flo. I guess Flo, this is the horse that I'm going to have to bet for Norm Cassie. And then I also like the 6. And I thought, again, nice. It was only a 48, but this horse kind of romped and was geared down for, John, I think it's Enos or Ennis. Like, I didn't really know who this guy was, and I saw him at Keeneland and I followed Keeneland a lot this year. I mean, this guy could fire 2-year-olds. Like, everybody talks about Wesley Ward. I mean, this guy's no joke. Like, this would probably be my kind of pick. Like, I've learned a lot about him and, the works, this horse, James Graham. I like James Graham. I mean, it's only 63 SOR, 5-1 EquinEdge. You have to have the 6. So I'm all for adding whatever you want to add. For me, it's 6 and 8, and we can add whatever else you would like to add to that.
Yeah, I did. I liked the 2 Asmussen horses, and I like the 7 Behave Virginia. This is a McPeak horse that Hernandez is up on. Pulled away and won easily, geared down by 6 in the end on her maiden. Here's the hard thing, is that usually when you have maidens jumping up to stakes company, they usually don't win. But hardly any of these horses have won or raced since they're maidens. These are all maidens going right into stakes company. So I didn't, man, this is tough. I hope you're right. It's down to the 6 and the 8, but I'm scared to death leaving Asmussen off of these tickets. Just because, and you get Jose to ride 1 for Witchell Thoroughbreds at a gun runner, and then you get Santana for Spites. I mean, these horses are bet, and these horses have won. It's a tough one, man. I mean, if you toss the 1, you got to toss the 3.
Yeah, and that's where I went. I was against Steve here, but I get it. I think we have to add, if we're adding 5 horses, we're adding the 2. So we're spreading here. And yeah, Karina, I'll add the 2.
Let's come back to this.
Yeah, and again, we can, if for me, I'm adding the 6. So if we have to go too deep, I'll take the 6 and you can pick a horse if that's what happens. But we'll come back to this one. All right, let's go to the next. another 2-year-old race, grade 3, but this one's for the boys. What do you think here?
Yeah, here we go again. This is kind of like the last race just for the boys, like you said. And these are a bunch of maidens that are coming out. And so when I'm doing a sequence like this, unless you got information or you have a good hunch, you got to be scared to death of not spreading in these races where maidens are going to stakes company. Because this is when we have the biggest jumps in improvement in horses. Age 2, age 3, a month at a time, they can be a totally different horse 30 days later from their last start. And so when I was looking at this race, I looked at a couple horses. The first one was the One Vodka and Water. This is Asmussen and Ortiz. I don't know. Maybe Ortiz's agent gave Stevie a call and was like, hey, we need to get Jose some more mounts for you. You can't just use Santana. Santana can't ride 2 horses at once. So, we gotta spread the love a little bit. And this horse may have a case of second-itis, but they are stretching him out a little bit longer. And sometimes that's all a horse needs. 5 furlongs is pretty sharp. I mean, that is super sharp. And 4.5 at Keeneland, and he just lost by a nose. So I'm wondering if this horse just wants just a little bit more ground to get into stride at least. So I was definitely going to use the one. You got to use the 4 Glacial here. This is the Cassie horse out of Frosted that Talamo is going to be riding. Should be the favorite. I don't see any reason to knock this horse at all. Those were the first 2 that I definitely took a look at. There's the Ennis horse on the outside again. I know he's 20-1. She's got attitude, but look what they did. Broke his maiden at Keeneland.
This was a sick race. That race was sick. Like I looked at this race. This is a sick race. I mean, this is, and I didn't mean to stop you. This is my long shot of the day. But this main special race is sick. And then if you toss that 70 Kentucky Juvenile race in the slop, this horse is so live. But keep going because I stopped you.
Yeah. So she's got attitude. I was there at Keeneland this day to see this horse run. And you ever go to the track and you run into that one guy who you haven't seen in so long? And we used to see this guy at the OTB, and then the OTB shut down. And whatever this guy would pick, it was totally wrong. Like, if this guy said he liked a horse and you had any money on it, go cancel your ticket because the horse wasn't winning. And he goes, hey, guys, I really like the Ennis horse here. And we're like, well, he knows nothing. Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So what does it do? It wins the first time out, of course. So I'm like, okay, the horse was legit. He's for real. That's like the first pick that guy's ever gotten right when he's gave us information. So you always have that one guy.
I didn't catch. She's a filly. She's run. Why is she running here? I thought I thought that the 7th. So why is she not running in this non-graded filly race?
I think because Ennis wants the bigger bucks. I don't know. That's a good question. Let's call Ennis. Does anybody have his number?
I mean, it's the same. The purse is the same. It's just not a graded race. I mean, the filly race isn't graded and the boys is. I mean, good catch from somebody. Jeffrey posted that. Yeah. But that's interesting, you guys. I mean, yeah, he loves her. Of course he does. He's like, the purse is the same, but Jeff, he is. Keep going though, Brady. Like I keep stopping you.
So they tried her against this company in the Kentucky Juvenile. Just 3 weeks later, after breaking her maiden at Keeneland, this was at Churchill Downs, bobbled at the start. So that's an important note to highlight there. Bobbled a bit at the start. Okay. 3-5 upper, 4th. Okay, against the boys after a terrible start. So what does Ennis do? Ennis gives her 2 gate works, and she absolutely passed with flying colors. Fast bullets. I mean, she went 48 on June 13th. Then she comes back 46.8. That's working with the boys right there. So she may belong in this. I'm using the 11. I'm using her.
Yeah, I love her. I didn't even catch now. And what's her name here? I was talking to my girlfriend and I'm like, this is a tough race. I don't even know the bet. And she said, oh, what's the names of the horses? And of course it's like, oh, she's got attitude. And it was like, immediately, this is the horse we're betting. So
what do you think about the Pletcher horse? The Pletcher is the 8 here, Double Thunder. This one, I didn't really know. I mean, he's kind of did what Pletcher does, going 4.5 furlongs, but this was at Monmouth. Like, when does Pletcher send a horse to Monmouth unless this thing was claimed? It's WinStar. So, I mean, the 8's got to be in the conversation as well. I'd like to try to beat him, but for me, it was just 1, 4, 8, 11.
Yeah, I just like the 11. The 9 was the Scotty Longshot at one point. I mean, I'm gonna play a double from. Well, I'll probably add the 6 and 8 into the 11. I like the 11 better than the other Enos horse, the 6. But, yeah, Jeffrey. I mean, the 8 went at Monmouth, no stick. I ended up cutting it, but that doesn't mean anything. I was just trying to narrow here. The 1 lost to the 4. They raced here. The 2 beat Gunite. We talked about Gunite earlier. The 2 won against Gunite earlier, which, I don't love the 2 here, which maybe should tell me that I don't necessarily love Gunite, as much as Gunite's in like race 4. Patrick thinks the 11 is overrated. Jeffrey says don't leave the 9 out, like Red Run. Used to be Scotty Longshot, ran well in the slop at Churchill. I mean, I don't even know. I'm fine going 1-4. Would you say 1-4-11?
Mm-hmm. I did like those, and if we can add one of the Asmussens in there, I mean, I don't need vodka and water. I don't need that horse. I would be fine. I mean, I could use the 4, 8, 11, and then see if we have room at the end. I think we can get pretty skinny in the middle of this card.
Well, let's do 1, 4, 8, 11.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens. And we can come back to the 2-year-olds, because I think if anything, we just take let's go with our top picks each, and if we need to modify too much, and we can slim down or something. So the Wise Dan on the turf, like, guys, is where I started running out of time because I don't have enough time to handicap anymore because I have a day job. But what do you think here?
Oh my gosh, this race. I'm not betting Some Like It Hot Brown. I can't do it. I can't get myself to do it.
I'm fine tossing. We're tossing Some Like It Hot Brown, even though I worry about being low in speed here, but I'm okay tossing the 3.
I need somebody to go with him. So let me handicap this race backwards. Let me find the horse that's going to go with Some Like It Hot Brown. Set piece?
The 8,
no.
maybe.
Dead close.
Maybe the 8.
The 2, no speed. The 4, no speed. The 5, no speed. The 6, stalker. The 7, no speed. The 8, tactical, but not on the lead type. Maybe Field Pass can sit.
I think Santana might show speed here. That was only, you'll see in my notes. Like, I didn't know anybody else who was going to go with the 3. I thought maybe the 8. That was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not a paceless race. It's not a paceless race, but I don't know. I just have always thought Churchill Downs has been favorable to closers. And so immediately you had to look at set piece. You had to look at Ride a Comet. You had to look at Field Pass and Spooky Channel. You get not Julian this time. You get Velasquez, who's going to know what he's doing. I think that the 9-horse Spooky Channel is kind of like our Wittez from last weekend. That horse we gave out at 13-1. Spooky Channel is a 15-1 morning line. I'm going to have the 9 on some deep tickets. The 2 horses that I really thought that could upset were the 8 Field Pass and the 7 Ride a Comet. And so, if we're looking at the closers, people are going to say, well, set piece, he's the morning line favorite. Look who set piece has beat. He's going against 70 SOR, 72s, 74, 70s, 68s. And you've got horses like Some Like It Hot Brown that are going against 80s in the Maker's Mark Mile. You've got Ride a Comet, who's going against 84s in the Turf Classic, way in over his head in that spot. He's shortening up in distance a little bit. If Ride a Comet runs the same race that he ran against Raging Bull at the Maker's Mark Mile, he will win this race. Some Like It Hot Brown was well off the board that day. And now he did set a very hot pace, but Field Pass is also in that race. I know I've been wishy-washy on Ride a Comet. I've been all about him. I've been all about tossing him. I'm all about Ride a Comet on Saturday. And you're going to get 5-1. I think you'll probably get most of that. So I like Ride a Comet with a little bit of Field Pass and a tiny bit of Spooky Channel.
Yeah, I think Jeffrey, you're smart here. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand what you're saying. The thing about Some Like It Hot Brown is, I would say, because we agree a lot, Brady. I mean, we do here. This was only a 70 in the dinner party. And I remember we were at Pimlico watching this race. Like, was it Brandon? Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
like,
Brandon. Yeah,
but yeah, he loves Like a Hot Brown here for Maker, and Maker had talked up this horse, I guess. The thing is, that's only a 70. So I think what I would say here is, okay, your speed, pace, there's not a lot of pace. I mean, with Ride a Comet, with Cassie's not letting Some Like a Hot Brown just set some crazy garbage fractions. Like, somebody's going with the 3. Somebody is.
The 8. I think it's the 8. I think Santana is going to sit just off of him.
There will. I mean, nobody's letting the 3 just get loose here. I don't see it happening. I just don't. I mean, if Kentucky Ghost, maybe is Kentucky Ghost going to show speed? I mean, wide post, outer post, wide post. Maybe the 6 shows speed. The 5 probably not. Although I really do like the 5 here. Super Soul, probably not. Set piece on the rail, probably not. I do think whether it's the 6 or 8, you talk the 2, who's in love on the 10? Why can't the 10? Why can't the 10 show speed? I mean, with Talamo, I mean, showed a little bit of speed here, just looking at the running lines here in the 6 hole wide. I mean, here on the rail, I mean, why can't the 10 show speed? Again, in the 10 being lightly raced, I mean, I think we're going to see speed here. And that's what I love about horse racing, Jeffrey. We can disagree. I'm not saying Some Like a Hot Brown might not get somewhat of an easy lead. I just don't think that he's classy enough. I just don't. I think that there's too much class here. I mean, Ride a Comet, much classier. I mean, running in 3 grade 1s, right? I mean, the Maker's Mark ran second to Raging Bull. Yeah, coming off the speed, all that. Showed speed here, didn't run. Like, okay, what's going to happen here? I mean, grade 1s. I mean, you go to Some Like a Hot Brown, you won a grade 2 and a 70 and couldn't run in the Maker's Mark at all. Okay, pace, melt, all of that. Like, I just think that the dinner party was weak. And you look here in a 72, 1 on the lead, 1 back here in a 76 on the lead. I just don't trust that this horse is going to be on the lead. I think we're going to see class win here. I think hierarchy is interesting from the perspective of like stepping forward. Second off the layoff for Joe Sharp, Scotty Longshot, going to be a bomber. This horse runs really well at Churchill Downs, likes the Churchill Downs turf. Look at this. I mean, he loves 8.5 furlongs. I mean, the 5 is interesting. So I get it. I get the meltdown. I just think it's too classy. Pace is huge, though, so I get it. But, Brady, you were going to say something, so go ahead.
Jeffrey, I'll bet you $20 that Ride a Comet finishes ahead of Some Like a Hot Brown. Let me know if you want to take that or not. I got Venmo.
Junior, I see the 8 Field Pass. Like, this is a very tough race, and that's why I don't like Some Like a Hot Brown. I just don't think that he's classy enough. And we both could be wrong, Brady, and this horse could get an easy lead and just romp. Like, I mean, could happen. I just think that the 7's classy, the 8's classy. Spooky Channel is interesting, very classy. Like, I mean, why can't Spooky Channel sit off the lead here and Some Like a Hot Brown just not finish? I mean, third off the layoff. I mean, This horse is, I'm guessing, right here. Probably fits at a 72. The system doesn't love something like a Hot Brown, though. I mean, it's only 23%. Morning Line is a slight overlay, and it's the second pick. That's some of like, and yeah, I get play the pace and do it. The thing is here, I like the class perspective when I think there's going to be a little bit of a hotter pace here than a lot of people think. That's my perspective. I think whether it's the 6 or 8 or 10, I think we're going to see some more pace on the turf.
I think set piece. I love the horse. I bet the horse so many times, but against these and this company, set piece is a non-graded stakes type of winner. And now he's stepping up to a grade 2. Top Scotty pick, Morning Line favorite. I mean, I think he'll come running maybe to hit the super, but I'm just going to try to give out a straight trifecta. I'm going to be playing, maybe for a small denomination, a 7 with 8-9 with 3 or 1-3 8-9. That's what I'm going to be playing on Saturday. Yeah,
I like it.
You got 5-1 on top over Santana at 5-1 and 15-1 Spooky Channel over the speed of something like a Hot Brown, who I think will get tracked down this time. And then set piece is probably going to be coming as well. But, if Spooky Channel can get in that try, it'll pay.
All right. What do we want to do here? I mean, we're both on Ride a Comet here. I mean, I'm with you here on Ride a Comet. And I love that Gaff is riding here. Maybe Gaff's been riding Ride a Comet. But I thought that the 5 was interesting as well. But what that we didn't talk about. Oh, I said the 3 has speed.
Yeah,
that's like a Hot Brown. Okay.
Yeah.
What we have the 7. What else do we want to add?
I think 7-8 for me. I think Field Pass has a legit shot because here's our hedge in case it's a paceless race over some like at Hot Brown, because Field Pass is going to be sitting second. So I like Santana, even though Santana on the turf is sometimes a coin toss. I like this horse in this spot because if they do walk the dog on the front end, Field Pass is going to be right there. And so if Field Pass is part of the pace, then I think Ride a Comet picks up the pieces on the meltdown.
What I would say is why Field Pass dueled here at 11 furlongs with Santana and the Man of War at Belmont. You go back to the Maker's Mark Mile. This was a big speed pace race, right? Wasn't it? I mean, so Field Pass was 4th. I don't know who was in this race. In the 9 hole, like, isn't Field Pass showing speed here? I don't know what happened here at Santa Anita last year, but to me, the 8's going to the front. So,
and Patrick brings up a good point. He goes, stakes with no pace. Is it a real thing? When you get to this level, horses will go faster. They just will. It's like in the claiming ranks, paceless races, lone speed all day long. But when we're in stakes races, sometimes class can trump pace, in my opinion. That's how I handicap. Even if I have a horse that's lone speed, like if you're in a race, like let's go back to the Del Mar Derby, and was it Smooth Like Straight or Get Smoking? Yeah, both of those horses, it maybe had it by themselves on the front end. You still have Domestic Spending and Gufo running you down, and so like in the Pegasus World Cup, what's my half court shot? What's his name? I always forget.
Storm the Court. Storm the
Court was the speed. Colonel Liam and Largent still ran them all down. So when you're at this class level, pace can be overcome. And thank you, Jeffrey. Every day in New York is a paceless race. I think I could walk a dog in New York on the front end and go 51 and maybe sustain to the end. But for me, Justin, I mean, I'm gonna be in a lot of tickets. I'm singling Ride a Comet. And in a lot of tickets, I'm probably using the 8 Field Pass. I might even throw Spooky Channel on one. I'm telling you what, this horse, Laperoux's been riding this horse, but they have a barn change. Now they're in the Jason Barkley barn. And this horse, man, you got to bet him at a price. Never bet Spooky Channel if he's the favorite because it's just not worth it. And I know he won at Sam Houston, but like the price that this horse deserves is like 15 to 20 to 1. And that's what you're going to get. And with a little bit of uncertainty in the race, Johnny V, I'm telling you, man, the Spooky Channel can run. I'm going to be using him.
I mean, back at 12 furlongs, this horse was on the lead. I don't know what happened there. I mean, that's interesting. I didn't realize that Maker has field pass too. So why both would go the front, I don't know. But I just don't trust the 3. So we're going 7, 8, 9. And we're probably cutting down in the 2-year-old races would be my guess. We're not adding the 4. We're tossing some like a Hot Brown. And System wants to single Maxfield. What do you think?
I looked at this race 3 times. And so we were at Del Mar when Maxfield won on Derby weekend. And so I went, Del Mar had a little OTB set up because they're doing some construction down there. So I think I had to walk like 2 miles around the track to get to the OTB. I think I was closer to the ocean by that point than I was the track. But, and I watched this race. And my gosh, that was impressive. Maxfield's only loss is at Santa Anita. And what do they say? Some horses just don't take to the dirt at Santa Anita. It's deeper out there. You're traveling across the country. And it was a grade 1. This is a grade 2 field. Stephen Foster. I tried every which way to beat Maxfield. Horse for course. He's just better than the rest of these. Yeah, he's 3 for 3 at Churchill Downs. He's just way better than all these. You know, I can't make a case for Chest Chief. Somebody make a case for him. You know, somebody make a case for Silver Dust. I mean, he's not even. He won't be there. I mean, I can't make a case. I can't with Warrior's Charge. Oh, he gets a jockey that can actually break a horse out of the gate at least. That was bad last time in the Steve Sexton Mile down at Lone Star Park when he was supposed to break and go gate to wire against CZ Rocket and company. But you know, Warrior's Charge, he's like a grade 3 scooper, you know. So South Bend, are you kidding me? I go to South Bend every day, and I don't like it, and I don't like this horse. Maxfield, yeah, I hate taking the chalk here, but. My gosh, I mean, this is a Breeders' Cup Classic horse. This is a formality for. I mean, am I missing something?
No, I mean, Chest Chief couldn't beat him here. You know, and Maxfield loves Churchill. Mm-hmm. Like I'm. It's. I mean, I just think you have to. I'm with you. I hate just taking the chalk, but I mean, 44%. Morning line 4 to 5. Top pick.
It's essentially a pick 4. It's a pick 4 with a single. It's a free spot.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, a Warrior's Charge, speed, flow, Cox, okay. Like, but I just don't, I just don't see it. I really don't. This horse doesn't run well at Churchill either. You only have 1 race on here and didn't run at all in this grade 3. But you look at those average earnings, and this horse didn't run well the other time either. So I'm all for singling, Maxfield. I looked kind of at the 1, 2, and 3, I guess, which we talked about. The one Empty Tomb. So Maker, Santana, Brandon a 70. I mean, this horse really has to improve. It couldn't run in a 74 here. Struggled to win in a 70 back here. Why all of a sudden this horse competes versus Maxfield? I don't see it. I mean, I just don't. The system really likes the 2. 30 to 1 morning line versus 12 to 1. That might be a horse to play underneath, Mm-hmm. I mean, the system likes it. I guess the horse on the speed, has shown more and more speed, interesting. But I'm with you, singling Maxfield.
Cool. Let's do it.
All right, we're going the last. System likes the 6, 8, 12. I told you right before the show, I didn't get to this race. So I got through 11. I never even looked at the 12th. So you're going to have to start us, and maybe I'll add some value. The 11 looks interesting just because it's 7 to 1 versus 20 to 1, and it's 22%. But it's flow. But the 11 looks interesting.
Yeah, the 11 is a Justin horse. It's a Justin horse. I mean, it's a Justin horse times 0.5. You know, it's 7-1 EE off of a 21 morning line. Top win percentage. How often do you see a 20-1 horse with a 1-5 shot to win? I mean, that's a horse that should catch your attention. The system says that they think this horse can step up. You know, coming out of his SORs or her SORs, going a mile on the turf, it is not faced anybody yet. But out of Declaration of War, who's had some really, really good progeny this year, you get Flo for Cassie, and 22% win. This is a horse you have to look at. And so along with that, I am looking at the 8, Toby's Heart. I think even Javier Castellano can win on this horse for Brian Lynch. I'm also looking at Arm Candy, which I think I'm going to have some Arm Candy tomorrow night when I'm down in Indy. So that'll be good. First date kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes. Everybody likes some good Arm Candy. I like a little bit of New Boss here. So for me, one of the angles that I learned early on as a handicapper is on the turf going sprint to route. I like sprint to route on the turf a lot better than sprint to route on the dirt. And I'll tell you why. Because in turf racing, oftentimes the opening quarter and the opening half, they can be a little slower than some of the dirt races. And a lot of times these horses are just saving up until the last, eighth of a mile, last quarter of a mile to really turn the jets on. And when you take a turf sprinter that's had some success on a course like this, like the 10 New Boss, and you stretch him out and go 8 furlongs, which he's actually proven that he's won at Fairgrounds, which is a very long stretch. And so for me, I love a speed horse that can win in a long stretch. And so this horse is going to probably be the speed of the speed in this race. And I could see the 10 definitely going gate to wire.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked at the 10. I love the 10. So, and Rodney wants us to cover the 7th and do a pick 6. So we'll do that before we close out. We can do it real quick. Since I think we landed on a few horses. So we'll be able to play a 20 center because I think it's mandatory.
I liked the 11, the 10, the 13, and the 1, and the 8. So there's 5 horses that I liked. I'm not sure we can afford them all, but those were the ones I liked.
The 8 I have notes on, which I love this. Back at Saratoga or Gulfstream. So Saratoga race, tough start, very good race. 4 horses that were beat big came back to win stakes. Like, I don't know if my note's right there, but if 4 horses came back and won stakes, that's insane. Maybe that means this was a stakes and 4 horses came back to win, which is, I love that, whatever it is. Whether they all came back to win stakes or not, they all came back to win out of the stakes race, which was a 76. And then ran in a grade 3, had a good work, comes from very tough, not sure wants the distance, was at 8.5. And ran 6 out of an 8-horse field. Went to Keeneland, sprinted, and then ran 7 furlongs and just missed coming off the speed for Castellano. Horse definitely looks like a sprinter. But with that said, definitely can run. The 8's interesting. So you had the... As long as you can still hear me. We got the 10, 11, 12, 13, 6, and 8. No.
I had the 1, the 8.
Yeah.
The 10, the 11, and the 13. Those are the 5 that I liked.
10, 11, 13, 1, and 8.
That motion horse is facing good company. The 1, yep. These guys are sharp. Jeff and Junior.
We talked 7, 8, 9 there. There's the ticket.
Oh, nice.
It might have cut some stuff off in the first because I didn't lock it, but I like the 6. We have the 1, 2, 3, 7. What'd you have in the first race? Remind me.
In the first race, I went 5 deep there. I like I'm going back there right now. I like the 1, the 3, the 6, the 7, and the 8.
Yeah, it was the 8. Oh no, we have to have the 8. And the 6. 1, 3, Oh, the 2 is the Scotty long shot. We're gonna have to cut somewhere. Because I think we need to spread in the last. Do you want to cut in the second leg? Why don't we cut in this?
Take Spooky Channel out for this ticket. I would think in race 9 or race 10. Sorry, I think. I mean,
yeah.
I'm going to be using him on one ticket, but
there we go.
think as far as the base ticket, I think Spooky Channel's a add if you wish type of horse.
Yeah, it's gonna add $60, so 180 bucks. We're playing a big ticket. Mm-hmm. Do I have a Kraken hat, Patrick? I have Kraken shirts. I do not have a Kraken hat. We announced our coach today, which I was kind of disappointed in, but it's okay.
Release the Kraken. I watched the Pirates of the Caribbean the other night.
Oh, I love it, man. I'm pumped, man. I mean, hockey in Seattle. I had season tickets to junior hockey here in Seattle for about 6 years. I'm ready for hockey. I'm ready for basketball to come back because our basketball team got stolen from us. But let's do a pick 6 real quick because we're gonna look at the 7th race. Ticket generator is not working, so maybe we are not doing a pick 6.
We can just talk about the race.
Yeah, why don't we do that? I would single Maxfield and I would single Write a Comment for me in a pick 6 probably. I really like Write a Comment there. What do you think here in the 7th? I guess I had it narrowed down. I cut a lot of horses. What about you?
Mm-hmm. I mean, is Brad Cox in this race or is Brad Cox in this race? I mean, I like the 5 here. It's the top Scotty pick.
Yeah.
This next horse. Okay, let's look at the 8. So you have a horse where all of a sudden this horse shows out in 2020. Okay, Kentucky Downs, which is a hard track to win on, was impressive in a 6.5 furlong turf sprint. They take this horse over to the dirt and absolutely blows the socks off, going 1 mile and a 16th. They keep him on the dirt in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and I think he's still running. Is he finished up 40 lengths behind? And then they run this horse in a Grade 2 American turf, back on the turf, and was on the lead or second off of a good break and then just crinkled up. Whatever happened. I mean, this horse to me, I don't know that he wants to run anymore. And he could pop up in surprise. He's going to get bet because the workouts are great and it's a Wesley Ward. But like I said, I don't like necessarily singling speed horses at Churchill Downs of all places. So I think this is a play against for me at the 8. Helium is very interesting because he's kind of the, what do you want to call it, second tier of Triple Crown horses. He won the Tampa Bay Derby, and then they trained him up for 2 months to the Kentucky Derby, ran 8th, was a high price at like 40-1. And then they bring him back in the MAC win, which should have been a slam dunk for this horse, honestly. And he just, they flattered. That's the trip trouble. He flattered. I don't want a horse that flatters. And so you get Gaffleone, which I like, 7-2. This horse is probably going to be 5-2. Maybe the favorite, maybe the second favorite. They're going to turf. So let's look at the GSR Plus here. And he's about equal, turf and dirt. So, he should handle the transition well. I think Helium is going to be a defensive use for me on the turf. I think I'll include him. Yeah, I think I will. Because I'm looking at who he's faced and who he's going up against here. He can handle this field. Absolutely handle this field. My question is how good is the Brad Cox horse? And I don't think that we necessarily know yet because this is a non-graded stakes race, and he's ran okay. He's hit the board in these non-graded stakes race, but it's like this is like an in-between horse. He's like in between an allowance and a non-graded stakes. So I'm going to use the 5. He's the top Scotty pick, Flo and Cox. I'm looking for excuses to toss other horses. I'm not interested in the Scotty long shot here, the 2. This 1, Sophie Doyle's riding. They think this horse is a monster. The system thinks this horse is a monster. 23 win percent, second Scotty pick. From an SOR perspective, not great. Okay, here we go. Look at the GSR on the 2. Woo! So the system's saying this horse should not be running on the turf. 49 GSR. I mean, he is dropping 25 points from when he ran in the Lexington at Keeneland, going a mile and 16th. Now he's going a mile in the dirt, and he's dropping 25 points on the GSR.
Yeah,
For
that's
me,
crazy.
I don't know. The system really loves the one. I didn't love the one when I first looked at it, but maybe Sophie's got a single here. Maybe she does. She's going to be out in front. You got to like Sophie when she's on the lead, but you're going to have Flo stalking on the 5. The 7's got the class to prevail. I'm going 5-7 here.
Yeah, I liked Helium a lot here just because I thought it was very sneaky. I tried so much not to like the 5. I really did. And only 14%, in the morning line doesn't love the 5. The thing is when I dug in here, I'm like, this is the horse to beat. Like, this Fairgrounds Turf black gold race is really nice. I've looked at this race. I swear, I think I've looked at that race like 5 times in the last 2 days, because I think there was horses last night at Canterbury that came from that race, and then I think there was a horse today that came from that race, and then I saw the 5 Royal Prince here. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the horse that won the race. And then this was a nice race. The Audubon race here at Churchill was nice at 9 furlongs, and the 5 cuts back a little bit from a GSR perspective. I don't know, but that was a 68. This is a 70. I mean, horse has to improve. I just said it's not a lock. I like the 7. I thought that the 1 could improve for Sophie. I just don't know if she can come off the speed here. I don't think she's going to get the lead from the rail, and there's a lot of speed here. And so that's my concern. I think Helium's super sneaky. I didn't like next the 8, but Karina says the 6 based on breeding. I didn't like the 6. I looked at this horse quite a bit. Modern Science ran here. Modern Science, I think, ran last night and ran 3rd in that TD Dance race, which Flo should have won. That was one of, with the Monomy Girl race, I'm like, what's he doing? Like, I don't even know what happened last night with TD Dance, but
Cameo. I'm gonna get you. When's your birthday?
It's my birthday is July 15th, man. It's in like 2 weeks.
Oh, well, I'm probably gonna try to go to the Indiana Derby, and I'm gonna try to get a selfie or video with Flo wishing you a happy birthday.
Dude, I might come just to be there to, like, I don't even know. I hope Flavian Pratt shows up and Flavor Flav and I can dominate Flo. Like, I want to see a race between Flo and Flavian Pratt and watch Flavian Pratt just dominate Flo Giroux. But that was my thing here. I didn't really know about the 6 because Modern Science and we lost Brady. Maybe he'll be back. His phone probably died and we're wrapping up here. But the thing with the 6 is Modern Science ran okay last night. TD Dance should have dominated that race, and Modern Science couldn't win. That was my concern. The 1 ended up winning last night, something Miami or something. And, I just don't, El Kabong, I just don't trust here. And it's coming off a maiden win, like jumping in this nice stakes race. I just think, Helium's a nice horse, and I'm with you, Cindy. I like the 1 and 7 as well. I think the 5 could be tough, but I think I'm going to pick 6. I get the coverage. I probably don't play the 8. I mean, some people might like the 6. I could see 1, 5, 7 for me in a pick 6. And I think, as we talked about, we both write a comment, single in Maxfield, there's 2 singles and a 20-cent pick 6. I think there was a few horses we talked about. What else before we've been covering Churchill like crazy, man. 3 straight weeks, which has been fun. In this gap we had Belmont's racing too. We just focused on Churchill, but anything else before we close it out?
No, I was just looking at the date of the Indiana Derby. It's July 7th. That's a Wednesday, middle of the week, Wednesday for the Indiana Derby. I'm not sure if I'm going yet. I might dabble down there. Do we have any EquinEdge followers that are planning on going to the Indiana Derby? That's what I'd like to know. Oaks and
I
Derby.
think they're running that on a Wednesday, huh?
Yeah, Wednesday. Every year it's on a Wednesday, midweek, right after the 4th of July. So I guess it depends on how hard we party on the 4th of July, whether we're going.
I won't be there because I'm going to be on vacation with my children.
Nice.
And so we're gonna go to the water park and stuff. But I hope that some people show up and
Yeah. Well,
that'll be
Del Mar
fun.
starts the week after that. So Del Mar and Saratoga are the following week. So it's time to gear up. When we do the show next week, it's going to be the last day of June. We'll be 2 weeks away from the start of Saratoga. So
I know.
I'm chomping at the bit. I don't know. These Belmont cards right now, they're tough because I don't think that the trainers are running their top horses in top form right now at Belmont. So like today, if you played the early pick 5, I think there was almost a carryover. Because
that was sick.
Yeah, it paid like $17,000, and it was to the Danny Gargan Irad favorite in the 5th leg, but they got bombs. I mean, it was like a $30 winner, a $40 winner. I mean, it was legit. So crazy things happening around the racetracks right now.
This 3-horse ended up winning Firing Carol in this 3-and-out filly and mare race. I mean, this was 0% trainer Ricardo Legal and Jalon Samuel. I mean, has this kid ever won a race? He won today. Good for him. I hope that Irad and Joel and Luis and Junior Alvarado showed him a good time because, he had never won a race. And I mean, maybe he's an apprentice. I don't know. He's rode for this trainer 6 times, but he blew up the board, man. $42 winner. Yeah.
Junior, I do go to New York. I've been to Saratoga, and it's top 1 or top 2 for me. It's between Saratoga and Del Mar. Those are my top ones, and I'm going to try to get to Saratoga once this year. I hope maybe like Whitney weekend or something like that. I mean, you got to go to the Spa. The Spa is where it's at. I have not been to Belmont, and I've not been to Aqueduct, but I haven't been to Monmouth either up in that area. But love the Spa. I love the racing at the Spa, especially on the turf.
Well, I'm going to see you at one of them. It's probably going to be Del Mar would be my guess because that's an easier trip for me. And I'm excited. I have my Del Mar shirt on today. I'm just excited to go back again. Cool spot just in general. And, that they open up my birthday weekend. So that's, we'll see. I don't know. That's in like 3 weeks though. That's crazy.
I'm going to try to get you that cameo.
All right, brother. It's been a pleasure. I always enjoy this. Viewers, thanks for tuning in. Great Saturday card at Churchill. We'll be joining next week. I don't even know what we're going to cover next week, but we'll cover something until we kind of lead up to Belmont and Saratoga and Del Mar.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some holiday weekend racing. Most people have July 5th off, so I'm sure that there's going to be some good cards somewhere, either Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. So thanks, guys. Have a good week.
Thanks, everyone. All right. Sounds good, brother.
See ya.